Hello there! I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Marvelverse series. No, it's not exploring the Marvelverse. I thought about it, but this is cut and dry. Apparently, Crest on Earth Part 3 is the last one, so I'm exploring. I can't really explore what's done. I'm sure I'll do more animated films, but yeah. So we are taking a look at Justice Society World War II, which is an interesting film. It went in ways I didn't expect. Like like Aquaman is there, of course, but I didn't expect his character to go in a certain direction. I also didn't expect like some story directions to go in that direction. So yeah. So the movie confused me right off the bat because Superman I kind of praised. Oh, it's an origin story, and it works as an origin story for Superman, but also it's not just rehashing certain things that we already know. So yeah, you can work an origin story with that, but they don't go into how Krypton was destroyed. No, they start with Superman as a kid being scared of something on the TV, and then you get here, and then you get, and then it just fast forward that temple that's right here. If you can see it, right there, and that's annoying when it gets right there because I have my glasses right here, and so it pushes up against it. Weird place to get pimple. Anyway, so you see me fidgeting, it's because of that. And then it kind of works as an origin story with Superman in a way as well, but it does a good job of not just rehashing a lot of things. This one, there's no origin story. Barry Allen is already the Flash, and he's having a picnic with Iris West. Iris West, which means they're already together. Apparently, they've been together for years, and she's kind of pushing for marriage, but he wants to keep it kind of down low, because he isn't, which he has a point. It's the whole Batman thing or Spider-Man thing, excuse me, where it's like if they found out who I am, then you're in danger of the whole thing, right? So I get it. And then we see Superman. I don't know, we're fighting Brainiac. And in a way, I like the way how Brainiac looks in this, and I'm a little bit upset that they only just use it as a little thing, and he's not a straight up villain in anything. Because Brainiac's one of my favorite Superman villains, so for him to just be, he's not throwaway, as he's used for something that pushes the film's story forward, but I don't know. I just sometimes you see like the whole thing where originally apparently in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4, if it ever got made, they were gonna have Mysterio show up at the beginning to rob a bank, and it would be revealed that it was just Bruce Campbell, and kind of connecting all those cameos that he did. And yeah, funny, haha. But then that, to me, that kind of is just it's throwing the villain away. I like what they did. Well, for the most part. Sorry, my itch or something. Itch, skin irritation and all this. For the most part, I like what they did with Mysterio in Far From Home. How they used him in the ending, I don't really care for. The whole, Spider-Man is Peter Parker nonsense. I mean, it led to a great film afterwards, but it just felt. I remember being very conflicted when that movie came out. I was like, "What are we doing here?" No, how do you and then like him just being another victim of Stark's ignorance towards other people. It's just but but I think that for the most part, Brainiac has done pretty well. We do have a connection here. So Barry sees what's going on and becomes a Flash and goes to help. We have a connection. So I mentioned Arrowverse connections in the last one because of Darren Criss playing the voice of Superman, and then there was another actor who was also in the Arrowverse. But here we have a different connection. We have a Glee connection, and a much closer Glee connection than you would think. So we have Darren Criss, who's come back to voice Superman, who played Blaine on Glee. And Matt Bomer is playing the role of the Flash. Matt Bomer was a guest star on Glee. Not only that, he played Blaine's brother. He played Darren Criss's brother on there. Great duet with Rio and it's a Hunger Like the Wolf Rio mashup. It's really good. I like listening to that song. And so yeah, they get to work together. I don't know if they even shared the same booth, because this is pretty much came out. Although some twists and turns later. Yeah. So Flash tries to stop Brainiac. Goes really, really fast. Tries to stop a bullet, and he ends up penetrating the Speed Force, for lack of a better term, and going through time. That's playing special features again. Going through time, so to speak, back to World War II. Now, this movie actually begins with something that made me kind of scratch my head. It's Steve Trevor pitching to President Roosevelt the Justice Society. He lays out all the members: Black Canary, Hawkman, Dr. Fate. Really is a glorified cameo in this. Hourman, Hourman, and their leader, Wonder Woman. And like, we don't get any words from President Roosevelt from this, but the fact that when the Flash arrives, the team is fighting off Nazis, it got approved. And that's a head scratcher, because I understand nowadays having female-led stuff is way too prominent. Gotta cut down on that. I'm sorry. I'm not saying women can't be in. It's playing the short. I don't want to play the short because I gotta review that. I'm not saying you have to get rid of it, but can we dial it back? Not every movie or TV show needs to have a female lead. Okay? One of the most infuriating things is Star Wars. The Acolyte still confuses me. I never watched it, because this new stuff, besides The Mandalorian, it just isn't for me. The only other new project, I watched the 3 seasons of Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. The only thing I'd want to go back and look at is Obi-Wan. It's because I like the Obi-Wan character, to see how they did that. However, I'm not in a rush to do it, and none of the other ones really enthralled me. But I just see all this stuff with Star Wars, and it's all female-led bullshit. Even that new game, Star Wars Outsiders, whatever it's called, it's female-led, and I'm like, when I grew up, it was very much Star Wars is for boys. Girls have Barbie and Polly Pocket and shit. Boys have Star Wars. Star Wars is for boys. And then once Disney got a hold of it, they're like, nope, female lead. And they gave us Rey. And she was fine till they ruined her in the Rise of Skywalker. The Last Jedi I'm tentative on, but Rise of Skywalker ruined her, in my opinion. But this seems like everything. The Mandalorian and Obi-Wan, that Andor bullshit, are the only ones that are male-led for reasons. This Mandalorian has to be man. I guess it works. I don't know, I guess it doesn't have to, but it works. And then Obi-Wan, of course, has to be a man, and Cassian was already established character. Otherwise, what if they showed Cassian on the cover, and it was actually about his younger sister, right? How people look at that, right? And I've also heard that Obi-Wan had a lot with Leia, which is confusing because they shouldn't have met. I know that people are like, well, how would she know to call on Obi-Wan Kenobi? I don't know. And she did recognize his name from Ben Kenobi in A New Hope, so I don't know. But anyway, I just don't think that in World War II, the 1940s that the president, most of all, is going to greenlit a team of superpowered individuals led by a woman. I just don't think that that's practical for that time period. And I know they're going a different direction as to where this takes place. Still, it's still FDR. It's still the 1940s. It's still, it still doesn't make any sense that he would greenlight a team led by a woman, right? Just back then, there was so much segregation with people of other colors, and women were not. I mean, the whole Rosie Riveter thing started in World War II. Sure. They still weren't allowed in the military, really. It still just doesn't, there's an episode of Legends of Tomorrow set during World War II where one of the main conflicts is that women are relegated to that kind of role. So, if it's set within the same time period, I don't think that they would actually allow it. And I'm not saying they shouldn't. By all means, do it. But in World War II, it just doesn't... I don't know. Then again, surprisingly, she is not the lead. The person right in the middle of this is not really the lead. She has a story, sure, but she's not the lead of this movie. Not really. Not really. No. The Flash is. So the Flash goes back in time to World War II, so to speak. And he meets the other, immediately she thinks he's a Nazi. She looks at his lightning bolt and goes, did they have one too? Did they have one too? By the way, Wonder Woman has an accent for some reason. Well, I know the reason. Because Gal Gadot, whatever you pronounce her name, has an accent, so they gave her an accent. I know that it makes sense that, she's an Amazon, she'd have an accent, sure. Do you realize that Gal Gadot's version of Wonder Woman was the first Wonder Woman to have an accent because she has an accent? No other version of Wonder Woman I've ever seen has had an accent. But because the current Wonder Woman, around the time that this was released, had an accent, they needed to cash in on that. I'm surprised that Aquaman looks like this, and not like Jason Momoa, if I'm being honest. He looks like Peter Capaldi, actually. He does. Summon the whales, and never ever eat pears. Just, Yeah, so, he goes back, you meet the Justice Society that they have. And on the way there, I should mention that Dr. Fate was talking to him. I was surprised with Dr. Fate because he's not anywhere on this box. Because he doesn't do anything. Also, the lineup of the JSA is a little like Wonder Woman. I guess I've never seen a version of the JSA where Wonder Woman is in it. Although it does make sense if they were back then, Yeah, Hourman, Hawkman, and Dr. Fate. Sure. And Jay Garrick's Flash. Alright. Black Canary. Again, I'm not very familiar with the comics, but I've never seen. Apparently this is the golden age Black Canary. Dinah Laurel Lance Drake. Drake Lance. Whatever. Okay. Alright. We also have Steve Trevor, who again was the one who pitched Wonder Woman to lead the group. Because there is an ongoing, I guess, a running gag with them. Apparently he proposes to her every day, and she declines. It's funny, because the first time he does it, he just walks in and does it, and Flash is like, oh, that escalated, and then they just kind of laugh it off, and he's like, wait, what's happening here? And they're like, every day he proposes to her, and every day she says no. But one day, she's going to say yes. And I'm like, oh, he's dead. He's dead. This kind of plot line? No, he's dead. Was I right? We're going to find out. Stop it. Badhead. Don't spoil. Well, it's too late now. But yeah. So they do fight these Nazi forces, but they're not strong enough, even with two Flashes, because two Flashes are there. Again, what happens doesn't make much sense of this. They try to make sense of it. They're feeding off the Speed Force both speeding off the Speed Force, so it's messing with them, and they're both not at top strength. Because we gotta nerf the speedsters. Having two speedsters at one time, they'd be able to beat the Nazis, right? And at first, you kind of roll your eyes because they're like, well, with him here, we can take down the Nazis. No, we can't do that because if we do that, it could create a paradox. He might not be able to return back to his time. And I'm like, one, you don't know what paradox means. Two, and they even mention this. What if that's how we're supposed to win the war? Okay, sure. But this is just done so we can waste time, and this movie doesn't end really quickly, because they could just win this war right there, and it's over, right? But no, you can't do that, because movie time. This movie's runtime is 84 minutes, which is not long. 90 minutes is always the best, the preferred, there it is, runtime. But 84 is not bad either. We also meet Shakespeare, who is a secret agent who seems very familiar to the Flash. Not a secret agent, but he's a reporter undercover, and it turns out he's actually Clark Kent. And I went, okay, because I read the credits and it says Clark Kent Earth 2, and I went, so is he displaced from another Earth in World War II? No, because there's another Clark Kent in World War II. He's like, oh, I'm on another Earth. I'm like, that's a bit of a leap. What I just explained made more sense than he just goes, oh, I must be on a different Earth. Actually, I didn't actually go back in time. I'm on another Earth that's in World War II. I've seen this done before, and it's still confuses me. So he didn't go back in time, but he traveled to a parallel Earth that happens to be in the 1940s. In the Crash Down Infinite Earths crossover, the Arrowverse did. They first of all tried to retcon something from season 1 of Legends that doesn't work, so Arrowverse fans basically ignored it. But Baby John Kent gets sent to another Earth that's in the year 2046, and that's when Sarah Lance is like, "Oh, we were there. We thought we traveled through time, but we were on another Earth in 2046." But then they get there, and none of it matches what the 2046 they went to. So no, that's not what happened. They try to explain it away, but then everything they show doesn't make any sense. Because if it was the same parallel Earth, because when they get there, Oliver is shocked to see Sarah because she died on that Earth. And, if it was the other Earth, he would already know that she's still alive. Oh, but what if it's actually before they get there? But then the other one wouldn't make sense. Because in the other one, when they go to 2046, in the Legends episode, he still thinks that she's dead. So, yeah, no. Their explanation to try to write it off, is no, it doesn't work. Because you didn't even write it to make it work. Here, they say that. Oh, it's a different Earth, still in World War II in the 40s, I guess. Which I guess can work, but I don't know. I guess for them to obviously all come together for Crashes on Infinite Earths, it has to be like that, because again, it's be time over time. Space and time, space-time, But anyway, yeah. So he's a Clark Kent, and in this on this Earth, no, on this Earth, Jonathan Martha Kent died when he was 3. So, yeah, so he's a reporter, because of course he is, and he's like, "You're Superman." He goes, "I have no idea what that is." So, yeah. So to get help, they decide to go to Atlantis and get help from Aquaman. And then it turns out Aquaman is actually working with the Nazis because he's being controlled by someone called the Advisor. And I was like, who is this? Because I clicked it and it showed a picture and I went, No, that looks like a totally different character. And after researching, it's this Earth's version of Psycho Pirate. We've seen that twice in the Arrowverse. We've seen a Psycho Pirate on the Elseworlds crossover that was supposed to show up in Crisis, but they just never brought him back, even though he was the one warning that it was coming. But they just didn't bring him back. See how they do here. And then the other version, the Cecile Horton version of Psycho Pirate, the evil mask, because they made it where, oh, and it was actually the mask that they created Psycho Pirate, not the person. That is a lame way to continue Psycho Pirate without bringing back the actor. I'm sorry, that still bugs me. But yeah, this version, and he's mind controlling Aquaman with the Nazis. And to see Aquaman do the Nazi salute, I'm not going to do it because clipping's a thing. But he does the Nazi salute. I'll do this one because this is the proper one. The Nazi salute. Salute! You know, because Tim and Toolman Taylor, this is our salute. The power tools. Oh, yeah. But yeah, so so they're planning on working there. So the plan is for both Flashes to vibrate so that one of them could get your mind out of the gutter. So that one of them could phase through the floor. And so Barry does. And he phases through and just lands on a console underneath. And then takes out the Nazis down there. Or Atlantean soldiers, whatever. And goes and saves the others. Okay, pretty cool. Also, they also nerf Hourman because it hasn't been 24 hours since he's used his powers. It's got to be every 24 hours. So it's kind of like this movie is 84 minutes long, and I feel like more than a day passes. But he's like, well, if I have my powers, it's like, why haven't you used them yet? Like maybe he does at some point and I missed it. I did those off a couple times, but anyway. So we get this big battle now, this final battle. Psycho Pirate is controlling Aquaman. Aquaman is fighting Hawkman, and then the others are trying to fight off Nazis and the Atlantean soldiers and Atlantean monster creatures that come out and start. It's all out war now, you know. Of course, both Flashes are kind of nerfed because, again, so here's my situation with that. They say that they're both weak here because they're feeding off the Speed Force. Okay, no. The only thing I can think of is that because he jumped Earths, he's now going off of this Earth's Speed Force. Because I don't think it's all the same Speed Force. I know he can connect to Earths through it, but to say that it's all the same, they'd be using it at the same time on different Earths anyway, so why would it affect them differently? It's kind of confusing, but yeah. Then Steve Trevor stands up to Aquaman, and he gets stabbed, because of course he does. He gets wounded. And then Superman shows up to save the day. Yeah, and then knocks Aquaman on his ass. And Aquaman comes to and realizes what had happened, and then just takes off. They defeat the Advisor as well. And then, they defeat. No. So Steve Trevor dies in Wonder Woman's arms before proposing to her. She says yes. And then she gives the ring to Barry and says, hey, don't waste time. Because that was her thing, is she kept saying, no, it's not appropriate time, it's not appropriate time. Don't wait, do you know. And that was the whole thing with earlier, so, yeah. So with the help of Jay Garrick, he's able to come back, finish helping out Superman, who he calls Shakespeare. By the way, when Superman shows up in the costume, he has the classic S. It's because it's the 1940s, so it's the classic Superman S from like Superman 1, the comic guy I hung up over here. It's that S. I'm like, you know, they should have the classic S, and then they showed him, and like, oh, they do. Cool. Sorry, my arm is just bugging me. It's itchy. Got dry skin and shit. I should put some lotion or something on it. It's just bugging. You see it's all dry skin and everything, and red because I'm scratching it. Anyway, so then he proposes to Iris, and she says, no! No, I'm just kidding. She says yes. Like, they do the thing where he proposes, then there's like a silence, then she says yes, and I'm like, why do you do that? Like, she was the one begging him earlier. We're gonna do a silence as if she's gonna. Nah, you're right. Let's keep it down low. I do like that. Like the opening credits are very World War II style. So are the end credits and the music as well. I like that. Yeah, this was good. There was a point during the final battle sequence when they're fighting where I was like, wouldn't this be cooler if it was the DCAU Justice League, the animated one? Because Matt Bomer does a pretty good job, and you can almost see the DCAU Flash. Although Mike Rosenbaum, he's not as like cocky and funny as Mike Rosenbaum, and that one was actually Wally West, whereas this one is Barry Allen. And by the way, taking another cue from the Flash, the Arrowverse Flash. This Iris is also African American. Like, so now this and the DCEU have stolen that because she's usually white with red hair, but now she's just going to be African American now because of the Arrowverse Flash. You know what? I'm fine with that. I'm not, because I've never seen the white version of her. So everyone was complaining when Wally ended up being, no, he's gotta be red haired. We need a real Wally who's white and it's red hair. And it's like, it's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna give this a pretty good. I liked it. I really liked it. The whole alternate Earth thing threw me off, but I got used to it. Also, the one thing I didn't like was all like, really? Is that after Aquaman comes to, instead of staying and fighting off the Nazis or whatever, he just takes off. He's like, no, we're out. Shoom. No words. Only thing he says is, what have I done? No, you're not going to make amends by helping to stop the what? Nope, you're gone. I don't even think they actually stopped World War II yet. It's just, this battle was over. I don't know. But yeah, this was good. So, what are your thoughts on Justice Society World War II? I do believe the next thing I'm looking at is a DC Showcase short, Kamandi, The Last Boy on Earth. I'm going to do those two because I think they might tie into Correct Son of Earth. So, all of the shorts I'm going to do. So, we'll see. Yeah. I'm also keeping a log of what the bonus episodes on these are. So I mentioned that in the first one that it was the Superman the Animated Series, the Main Man parts 1 and 2. This one is a Justice League 2-parter, Legends part 1 and 2, which was actually supposed to originally have Justice Society, but the producers thought that it was or DC Comics thought that it was disrespectful to the JSA, so they used Justice Guild, which actually still honors them. Catman being basically Wildcat, and yeah, so yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Justice Society World War II? In the comments below, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scott, and I'll see you in the next one.